All right, everybody. Welcome to Word on the Street, powered by the Lean Solutions Group. We're live on YouTube. If you're joining us today, throw some comments in there. We'll have a great time. I got Justin Shepard with me today. Got Robert Bain as well on the call. We got a few more that are going to be jumping in. Gentlemen, how's your week been? What's been going on?
I'm planning tornado cleanup this weekend. I'm in charge of the cleanup in Northeast Alabama. So didn't
you do some of that?
That's my weekend.
Well? How's that going?
We didn't do any cleanup last weekend. Typically, you can't get in the first several days because the EMA, they're trying to get in and assess and everything. So tomorrow will be the first day getting out. And there's a big difference between tornado cleanup and hurricane cleanup. Hurricane is it's so freaking massive. Tornadoes are bad, but it's much more of a kind of a straight line, more compact area. So
a little more concentrated.
As bad as hurricane.
Got it. Crazy. All right. Well, hey, listen, we got some people coming to the stage. Everybody, welcome to the stage. Erin Smedick, she's got the best hair among the street crew. Excited to have her join us. Welcome, Erin. And also joining us right now from Bain's backyard from Chicago, our man, Greg Roberts. Greg, welcome, buddy. Good to have you.
Oh, hi, Greg.
How you guys doing?
I'm good.
What's going on?
It's your face.
Yeah, no camera. What's up? Look at Erin. Her backdrop's getting better and better. Look at this. I like it. Look at Erin's backdrop. Like, this is impressive. This is
I know.
Yeah. We need to get, so I love the jerseys. We need to get Eric to send you a t-shirt. You need to hang that up in the background. A little Word on the Street t-shirt.
That's what we need to get out of the basement soon, though. I'm tired of painting.
We got a lot of representation going on there. We got Virginia, Maryland, Yale.
Oh, UVA, take that down. Yeah. Take that down. Burn that tonight.
What?
Burn.
The UVA pennant, burn that. Stupid.
Burn it. Apparently, Bain doesn't
I don't even see it.
Well, as I'm looking at you, it's
to your right.
To your right. It's the pennant hanging next to the Woodson jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, burn that.
Or just move your camera a little bit. Just move the camera a little bit to the to the right, and you'll be good.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll know.
Yeah,
I'll know.
That's how it works. Well, happy Good Friday, everybody. It's Good Friday for those of you out there. This celebrates 1 year that Word on the Street has been on the air. Can you believe that? It's crazy. I can't believe it actually lasted. This was literally started just so I could have lunch with friends, because I'm an extrovert. I couldn't handle it. And here we are a year later. We made some great friends. We got some more people. Hopefully they're gonna be showing up here in just a little bit, and we'll chat about that. But yeah, it's just absolutely nuts. So very excited about that. Love to be with Lean and what they're doing and their support and all that. So everything's wonderful. It's all good. All good. We got a good show today too. We got a new segment, which I'm excited to drop. So last week we did the weekend pictures, which we'll have a little bit of that this week. I think Robert Bain may have some pictures for us to look at this week. But then we also have a new segment this week called Things I Learned. And this segment's going to be ongoing because I now have a teenager in my house who knows everything. I'm so blessed as a dad. And so I'm literally learning things every week. And I figure I might as well share that with everybody, the things that I'm learning. So very excited to
Absolutely.
That's great.
Interesting.
Gonna be good. And then a big question is, where's Chris Jolly? I actually talked to him today. He said he would be here. So I got to call out Chris Jolly. He's not here yet.
Snap a picture of this group and then text it to him. Say, wow, missing somebody.
I should totally just take a quick screenshot. That's exactly, I'm just going to do that. Yep. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to say, look, we're live. You're late. What is the deal?
That is a new show segment. It's just going to be called "Where's Chris Jolly?"
Where's Chris Jolly? That is genius.
Photoshop it into places.
That would be awesome.
Fantastic. That will be fantastic.
I like it.
Oh,
we'll
that's
have to do
happening.
that. So in honor of the 1 year anniversary of this, I actually went back to I started recording these and I had no idea what I was going to do with the recordings back in the day. But the first one that I recorded was actually on April 24th. And it was probably like week 4, I think, or week 3. I'd have to look at the calendar to kind of understand that. There were 26 people there. I think everybody was desperate to just connect with people. And there were a lot of people that, have kind of stayed with us. In fact, on the very first show or very first month of the show, Nick Rumor was on it. That's when I met Nick, was actually through Word on the Street. He started showing up and we're like, who's this guy from Scotland? Like, I was like, Nick, you've taken us global, man. We're now global. So Nick Rumor was on the show making us global, which is great. It's actually where Chris Jolly and I first started to connect as well. He was on one of those first shows. Although I will say he looked quite different. I may have to take a quick snapshot of the screen because he's lost about 40 pounds since that show, maybe 30, something like that, but significant amounts. And that's pretty crazy. And then also on the show was Coleman Ruffin. From the very beginning, I met Coleman. He's been a part of that for a long time. We had others that we haven't, seen as consistently. People like Adrian Chapman, a good friend of mine down in Springfield. Greg Grimes down there as well. TJ Knudsen was on that show. That's like the first time I really got to know TJ. So that was cool. Josh Kale he's down in Houston with LGI now, but he was on that show. Kyle Taylor was on the show quite a bit back then before he blew up at FreightWaves. I want to say that I'm responsible for him blowing up. We came up with the live from Kyle's apartment together. And so very excited. I mean, I don't know if he would claim that, but I'm going to claim that. And then of course we had Christy Knitchell. She was our first female on Word on the Street, was Christy Knitchell from Knitchell Logistics up in Pittsburgh. So Pennsylvania representing. And now we got Aaron full time and Diane and so many others that, Raquel who shows up. Also, Nick Dangles was on that show as well. So pretty cool to look back and see kind of where the beginnings were. And the haircut that I had going was a little different than it is now, but it's broadened now. I noticed my point was tighter back then, and now it's kind of broadened a little bit. So it's been it's had to match my cartoon. So all to say, it's been fun to look back on a year of Word on the Street and to see kind of where we've come from. So, Greg, how you doing, buddy? What's going on in Chicago in your world?
Oh, weather's finally starting to turn. So it's that area where you're getting outside too soon. Like you want to wear shorts, but you probably shouldn't, but you still wear shorts.
Yeah. I would say that it's kind of turned, but I don't think, because like right now the high today here is like 52. When I woke up this morning, it was 27. Like come on, that's not spring weather. That's a nice winter day.
Snowing last night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So we're turning the corner, but we're not there yet. Although I think next week we're supposed to hit 80 for a high, like on Tuesday. So maybe at that point I'll feel good about that. I'm actually going to be in Chicago next week. I'm excited to have breakfast with Beefcake himself in the flesh. We got to head up and pick up our RV, and I'm going to have breakfast with him, which is great. Looking forward to that. So we'll get some pictures and. Maybe that will make next week's, This Week in Pictures. So that'll be good. Cool.
Photoshopping.
Bane, are you ready? Should we just go ahead and do what now, Greg?
Photoshopping Chris Jolly.
There we go.
Exactly.
Before we do that, follow up to last week's Week in Pictures. I got to walk over here and introduce you guys. Yeah, there's a follow-up.
Oh, yes. So no longer a picture. We now have.
There she is.
Oh, look at him. Oh, my goodness.
She's like, Dad, stop.
Look at Ginger.
Yep.
Ginger representing.
Yes.
So cute. Is Ginger a pup or is Ginger mature?
She's mature. She's 5. She's
been sleeping there. I thought maybe it was a pup that was sleeping, but no, she's mature sleeping. Yeah.
She's got pup energy, which is great. So she's just been a wonderful dog so far. The week. And
the mother-in-law is Ginger, correct as well? Is that right? And then what you told us?
I should say.
I want to hear more dynamics about this.
Yeah, so my sister's mother-in-law is named Ginger. So it's not my mother-in-law, it's my sister's mother-in-law.
Okay. Close enough. Enough. You can have some fun with that for sure. Exactly. Okay, so guys, listen. Chris Jolly's in the waiting room right now. Should I bring him in or should I just let him sit there for a while? I mean, what should we do?
Take a vote.
What's the vote? How many vote to bring him in right now? Raise a hand.
Okay, 1, 2. Him in.
Okay, all right. We're gonna bring him in. Can guys late all the time.
Can we slow clap? Yes.
Yeah. Trey, you should leave me in the waiting room because I can hear you talk shit about me. None of what you were saying, I heard it all.
I love it. You know what that reminds me of?
I fully expect.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I wasn't actually sure if you could hear what we were saying or not when you're in the waiting room. But that reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Kramer buys Jerry a phone, a 2-line phone, and he thinks he has call waiting. But when he switches lines, the other line can hear him. And it's a great episode if you haven't seen that, but totally worth it. But that's kind of the moment that I felt. Chris Jolly, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Nothing much, man. Good. Doing good.
Always good to see you. I was I was telling everybody it's the 1 year anniversary of Word on the Street. I went back and watched one of the few new episodes, one of the first episodes, April 24th. You were on that episode, and I have to say, you look significantly different than you do now. So I should do like before and after of Chris Jolly Word on the Street. I said you look different than you did then. I didn't say.
Oh, I heard you call me fat. That's all I heard.
Your facial hair was just different. You didn't have the hat. There was no freight coach hat. That's what I'm talking about. Why would you think I would talk about your weight?
Because I'm self-confident. I'm self-conscious, Trey.
Well, I'll put it this way, Chris. Then when I first met you too, there was more of you to love, but now I just really appreciate what is there and how concentrated that amazingness that is Chris Jolly is.
See, at least Robert knows how to make me feel good, Trey.
He's a better.
You got to work on your deliverance.
That's the way it goes, man. That's the way it is. Speaking of Bane, are you ready to do this week in pictures? Do you have something to show us?
Let's do it, man. I got two good pictures.
Share something. Share what you got, man. Let's see it. Right. I've got some pictures too, but they're in a different segment this week. But go ahead. Let's look at this week in pictures.
First one. This is me catching 860 pounds in my elbows. This past Saturday.
You're such a man.
Yep. This actually is one of my teammates, Pat. He's from Milwaukee, and he things happen during powerlifting. That's why we have spotters. And so I end up catching 860 pounds off his back when he his blood pressure spiked. We actually have a towel, if you see, by his feet that was started out bleach white and ended up completely red as the monolith that's right there, because his blood pressure spiked and the blood came pouring out, and he lost consciousness. So, but he walked away in his own power, and he is good to go. So
that's exactly why I stopped powerlifting.
Sure. No problem.
I can't even go for a walk without getting hurt. And this guy's dropping 900 pounds. I'm so soft. It's not even funny.
We are.
So the dope thing is, you see where the bar is. The bar, until we put it back in the hooks that are part of the monolift, the bar did not go any lower than that. So once it came to me, it stopped. So spotter's doing the job.
I mean, we wouldn't expect anything less. Although this is a new element of powerlifting that I did not realize happened, that blood pressure spikes and you can lose consciousness. This is a little more dangerous than I thought.
Sometimes you'll see a lot of guys.
I'm thinking you might pull a muscle or something.
Yeah,
but no, that's.
It's not uncommon to see guys with bloody noses. Pat actually, because of the way his blood pressure is and because he's a lot bigger than he probably should be, he's actually had blood come out of his tear duct.
Oh boy,
it's amazing.
That's about when
look at everybody else in that room. Everybody else in that room is also swollen. I'd like to walk into that room someday, with a tank top on, and just feel way out of place. That's what I'd like.
Trey, you wouldn't even be allowed in that room, bro.
Hey! I know somebody in there, all right?
For some context, the gentleman kneeling to the right, his name is Bill. Bill is a corrections officer in Kenosha. Yes, that Kenosha. This guy in the black T-shirt over here with all the tats over his skull, that's actually my coach, Sean. He's 1,000-pound squatter. He's coached some of the best lifters in the world. This guy right behind him, Rich, was a special forces for 17 years, 16 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. He is a certified, legitimate badass.
Yeah. Again, I'm so soft. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Bad.
Chris and I talk a tough game, but we're nothing. We got nothing.
Yeah, but Chris is going to have to deal with triple digits already in Phoenix this week.
Yeah, it's going to be 100 this weekend.
It's April. What in the world?
Yeah.
So, that's crazy. Other picture for this week, a throwback. One of my buddies sent.
What else you got?
This is 8 years ago. I'm 225 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I mean, don't be wrong. I feel that is pretty
awesome.
Well, but yeah, so about 225 in this picture. As you can see, calf game is on point.
It is. Calf game was on point, and through the socks even. Socks on point.
Yep.
I like it.
Impressive.
What sport is that?
Pardon?
What sport is that?
Soccer.
Oh.
Yeah. No, nobody cares about soccer.
No.
Your glutes are on point there too, Robert. Look at the.
Okay, Chris, we don't need to talk about his legs anymore.
How are you
we don't really need to.
What do you mean?
I get
talking about his quads. I mean, yeah. How are you seeing his glutes?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
That's what I meant. Whatever you got.
They're big enough you can see them from the front.
Robert is sending Chris different pictures. He's sending him the back shot.
Yes.
You guys need to take that off screen.
The OnlyFans edition.
Exactly.
I'm Robert's only subscriber, but that's all right.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, that's funny. All right, we got a Q&A. Who's that from? That's Diana. I can't stay, but wanted to pop in and say, hey, bummer. I missed her. She came in, I didn't get her. Oh, somebody text Diana and tell her to come back. Oh,
you're a bad
such
host.
a bummer. I'm a bad host. Well, you know what? Listen, hey, I'm doing things differently now with the webinar, with the live view. It's more tools. You got to give me a few weeks to kind of, get everything figured out. If I miss somebody who wants to jump in, it's because I'm not looking at that screen. I got
you made an error.
3 screens now.
I'm already offended.
Cancel.
Yeah,
cancel.
Cancel Freight Coach. Trey didn't even invite me to this. I had to reach out to him.
Okay, not true.
Oh, really?
On the original invite.
I had to go to an old invite to get the link to log on. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
It's weird. Like I got everything right from Trey. Like no problem.
Yeah, I know. I got it on a schedule. Shows up begging me to come in.
Yeah.
Apparently
Also,
Trey just couldn't
begging,
fire to me.
Begging.
I don't have a special picture for this one, Trey, but today
Begging
is,
Justin.
today is me and my wife's 16-year anniversary.
Awesome.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And you're still on the show. See, this is commitment, guys. This is loyalty. Just take a picture of this. This is what it's all about. All right. Anniversary.
We
still
had
here,
Trey's
Chris.
birthday, Robert's anniversary.
We don't slow down. We were here Christmas Day. Come on, let's go. There's nothing that slows us down. There's nothing that slows us down. That's how it works.
Let's be honest. They've been together for 16 years. She's not leaving him because he's working. It's not like their first anniversary. We all know how this goes.
She gets to be Peter Pan, and I'm just the wallet.
Hey, all right. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Well, see, so we got, first of all, I want to talk about this. We want to have an ongoing tradition that we don't celebrate Black History just 1 month out of the year, but we actually celebrate it throughout the year. And so I figured today, what better thing to celebrate since it is March Madness Final Four weekend than to highlight some of the people that have really made a huge impact when it comes to college basketball. And so we're going to take a quick look here if I can find the right screen. Oh, where's the right screen? Row. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. Well, I thought I could segment this real easily. Here we go. Now we got it. Here we go. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the people that have made a huge impact when it comes to NCAA March Madness basketball. And who better than the one and only John Thompson, the coach of Georgetown University, the Hoyas, who took a university, really made it a place where young Black athletes could come and get an education, coach some of the best in the world that have ever played, Coach Patrick Ewing, Coach Alonzo Mourning, Coach Allen Iverson, won the national championship in 1984, lost the national championship to a Michael Jordan a year earlier, had an incredible stellar career. His son actually took over the program and continued the legacy. He passed away just last year and had a tremendous legacy and changed the face of basketball, especially for young Black men in Washington, D.C., and given the opportunity to go to an elite institution like Georgetown University. So, and pretty incredible. And then the next list of names that I want to read off, I want to see if you guys know any of these names. So first of all, do you know Bobby Joe Hill, Orsten Artis, Willie Worsley, Harry Flournoy, David Lattin? Anybody recognize those names? That is the starting five.
First starting five for
all
the
black starting five for the 1965-66 Texas Western national champions who beat Adolph Rutler's all-white team, which was the way it was back then. Adolph Rupp, sorry, thank you.
Wasn't there a movie about this?
Yes.
There was a movie called Glory Road, I believe.
Thank you.
Is it Glory Road? That's right. Incredible movie, really good movie, because Don Haskins, who was the coach, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He said, this doesn't make sense that we're not recruiting the best players just because they may have a different skin color. So he started recruiting athletes that were not being recruited by the schools that were predominantly white athletes. Those kids were going to junior colleges and historically Black colleges and universities and not going to the major programs. And Don Haskins said, that's crazy. And so he recruited those players. They were the best players. He ended up having an all Black starting five, the first coach to do that. They went through the tournament and ended up beating Kentucky and Adolph Rupp, which was a huge Sweet 16 or Cinderella story, a huge upset, and changed the face of college basketball from that moment forward. College coaches started recruiting the best players regardless of color. And now, as you can imagine, the best players in college basketball are predominantly black athletes. And so these two men, John Thompson and then Don Haskins, but particularly those starting five who had to obviously face tremendous adversity and be pioneers in college basketball, absolutely changed the face of it. And so we want to celebrate them as we think about March Madness, as we think about college basketball, and just really cool stories that I think need to be celebrated. I love when they make movies about this stuff because I feel like it captures it forever. It's like Remember the Titans. 2 weeks ago, I was in Alexandria, Virginia. I drove past T.C. Williams High School. I was so excited. I had no idea I was actually in that area. Drove past it, took a picture of it, sent it to my family, to my kids. And again, it's just a reminder of celebrating that, which was really cool. So anyways, want to make sure we celebrate that. Any comments, any feedback before we go to our first poll today?
It's amazing.
I love that story. It's awesome.
It's phenomenal, just phenomenal stuff. So, all right, so we're going to take a little poll. And this poll today is about March Madness. And I'm not sure if you guys filled out brackets, if you've been paying attention, but I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll while we listen to a little Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. So go ahead and take that poll.
Hey, you have to open up the poll.
Yeah.
Trey.
Dadgummit. Let me end it.
Here we go again.
God, relaunch.
Man, rookie mistakes.
Sorry, guys.
I know. There we go. Now you got it. Everybody take the poll. I was too focused on the music. Uptown Funk's one of my favorites. All right.
Yeah.
Wildin', living it up in the city. I'm so pretty.
Hey, come on in, lady.
And the fireman, I'm too hot.
Hot damn.
This is probably not good that we're like
guys
doing karaoke. There she is.
Yeah.
Guy.
Hey,
You are a
congratulations.
saint. You are a saint.
Happy anniversary.
You are a saint.
Happy anniversary.
Nicole Bain is a saint. You hear me?
She is a saint. Clearly.
She has to
Oh,
be.
Has to be. Has to be. I mean, that's a given.
You have 5 kids.
We know you.
Me
You
and
have
my
5
household.
kids.
We get it. We totally get it. No, hey, make this guy take you out, get a nice bottle of wine, whatever else you want to do. Make sure he treats you well tonight.
I don't
all right?
like wine, so that's fine.
Whatever you like.
I-
Whatever you like.
I got her a dog. And
2 liter Diet Coke. What do you want?
I want to sleep and I want him to rub my feet.
Yeah.
There
God,
you
I
have
love
it.
it. It's the little things in
There you
life.
have
That's
it.
all that matters.
It
After, like
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I was after a while. I mean, are flowers really even that cool? After a while, like, isn't an early night in bed uninterrupted sleep? Isn't that what we all strive for after we have
That's
children?
pretty amazing. I read
Yeah.
a book. He rubs my feet. It's pretty great because
It is amazing how things change from year 1 to
Cats
year
just
16 and beyond.
on the flowers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, they're pretty, and then it turns into get away from their cat the entire.
Right.
Yeah. Or now I got to clean them up. They're falling on
Allergies
the
start
counter.
flaring.
Yeah,
and-
right.
Exactly.
I hate getting old.
Sleep and rubbed feet. Perfect. Well, I hope you get all of that. Enjoy.
Oh, thank
Right.
you.
Enjoy, Jim. Love you.
All right. Mwah.
Look at that. Look at that. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Are you guys done with this poll yet? It wasn't that long. Chris, you still
I think
reading?
that's a Barry White.
I'm still trying to read, Trey.
You know how.
Yeah. I'm done. I've been done.
Love is in
Oh,
the air.
interesting. Oh my gosh.
I can feel
Interesting.
it all around.
Michigan.
Aaron, did you
man.
take this poll?
I did.
All right. Good deal. All right.
I had
Michigan, I know.
they killed me, man. I had 3 out of 4 Final Four teams if they would have went in.
I
I was-
had 4 out of 4 if they'd have won. I was on a roll. Don't even
Excuse me.
ask me how I got Houston, but I was on
Mr.
a
One Up
roll.
over here.
Well,
Good for
you
your
know,
brackets,
I
Trey.
got you. Thank you.
Well,
Michigan
I would have had a
definitely killed me.
perfect bracket if all the teams that I chose would have won their games.
I know, right,
Me
Justin?
too.
I really thought Arkansas.
Shut
I
up.
thought Arkansas was going to make a run. I thought that they were going to pull it off there, but Baylor's just wow, they're good.
No,
Baylor's good.
As much as I hated it, I thought Iowa was going to make a run, and they absolutely crapped the bed.
Totally.
Typical
Hey.
Big Ten team, man.
And don't get me wrong, like
Big Ten.
I take great glee
Which I
in
should've-
watching them lose because all my friends are then really sad. But I was like, man, I had them going pretty deep, so it kind of sucks.
My God. Chris, you done? Is everybody done? All right.
Yeah.
I've been done.
Well,
The whole there were a lot of people that were predicting an all Big Ten Final Four. I saw that several times, that it was going to be an all Big Ten Final Four because that was the best conference in history.
Well, that would have been. I was like those. One of my favorite championship games ever is Kansas Oklahoma in 1988. It was neat to see those guys go after it after two or three meetings in the regular season. But I was a Big 12 fan, so it made sense at the time. But anyways, all right. Let's talk about this. Question number one, how many Final Four teams did you correctly pick in your March Madness bracket? Chris was one of did you pick two, right? Three of you had two, and one of you didn't fill out a bracket. I win. I picked three. Yes. So excited. By the way.
Awesome. Is this just for you to show how you're better than us, Trey?
It is.
I'm hanging
Clearly,
out.
That's what the whole entire show is about, Chris. It's taken a year for you to figure that out, but that's really what it's about, if we're honest. All right. So also, just as a little fun fact, next year, become a lean customer, because then you can participate in Lead Madness, which is we invited all of our customers to join a bracket. We're giving away $1,000 for every 30 entrants. There were 90 entrants. We're giving away a pot of $3,000 next week. So excited, handing out our own little stimulus checks. We're very excited about that. So we'll see who works. Mike Foy of Visible Supply Chain Management is at the top. He had a ridiculous run into the Sweet 16. I think he had 15 or 16 of the Sweet 16 teams.
Good grief.
Unbelievable. I know. I don't know what almanac he was using, but a little Back to the Future action there. So we're excited to give out some money next week. That's going to be exciting. So let's go on to question number two. Which championship games will you watch? Most of you are going to watch the men's championship game. Two of you are not watching. Who's not watching the game? Who's not going to watch any championship game? No.
It's too painful because the team that I picked to win is not there.
Okay, let it go, man. Move on.
Trey, I am very
You're telling
petty.
me that Gonzaga Baylor, you wouldn't watch that? Baylor, you wouldn't watch that?
Gonzaga Houston. I think Houston's a scrappy team that might pull off some upsets. Houston's good.
Well, okay, so I'm rooting for Houston. Then maybe you'll watch
Phi Slamma Jamma, baby. Let's bring it back.
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Been too long.
I'll have you know that Phi Slamma Jamma did not win. Just so you know,
that's irrelevant.
NC State took him down.
That's irrelevant right now.
Everybody remembers Phi Slamma Jamma, even though NC State. By the way, if you have never watched Jim Valvano give a speech, go to YouTube, Google it. Phenomenal speeches.
Oh, come on. Who's never heard that?
Especially the one. No, not that one. I'm talking about the one called Cutting Down the Nets. Oh, listen to that one. His speech at the ESPYs, that was incredible. But years earlier, he became a speaker going around, and his speech Cutting Down the Nets is one of my favorite. I will always hold on to that one. So Google that one, Cutting Down the Nets. Somebody put that in the chat box. Look it up and put it in the chat box.
His speech at the ESPYs was actually the last thing that my grandfather said to my father and I before he passed away.
Really?
Wow. Never, ever give up. He also, hopefully passed away because of cancer, but never.
For those who don't know the story of Jim Valvano, he was diagnosed with cancer and was so sick that he, literally couldn't get out of bed, and yet he was being awarded the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the ESPYs. He literally got on a plane, made it there, had to be walked down the aisle. But when it was his turn to go up on stage, he walked up the steps and he stood the whole time. And his family was like, I have no idea how he did that. Absolutely no idea. So Greg, thank you for putting that YouTube in the chat. We'll make sure that that's on the notes on the YouTube replay later on. But incredible, absolutely incredible speech at the ESPYs. And Cutting Down the Nets is my favorite. It was actually in the 1980s that probably late 1980s that he delivered that. It was really good. So excellent. All right. Who's going to win the men's national championship game? Everybody chose Gonzaga. Everyone chose Gonzaga, and that's maybe the one where somebody didn't answer because there's only 4 answers, but everybody chose Gonzaga. So they definitely are the favorites. I think they look like a really bad pro team.
No, Clemson is not going to win.
Clemson is not going to win.
I know.
That's a good point. I think Gonzaga is like a really bad NBA team. They pass the ball better than any team I've ever seen in traffic, in transition. So we'll see what happens with that. Who's going to win the women's championship game? 2 of you chose UConn. That's obviously the favorite. They barely got past Baylor on the controversial call last week. Stanford looks really good. South Carolina won it recently a couple of years ago. Arizona's the surprise. Welcome, Chris Jolly. You guys are representing.
That's literally who I was the one who chose them. I chose them just off of the fact that I live here. I'm like, well, let's roll.
Well, and it would be cool, I think, to see changes made. Did you guys know that in the women's game, there is significantly less parity than the men's game? The last Final Four, the last mid-major team to make it to the Final Four was Southwest Missouri State back in 2001, I believe.
That's a college.
So it's been 20 years since a mid-major women's basketball team has made it to the Final Four. So there's just not as much parity. It's the same schools every year. UConn obviously has won so many. South Carolina, of course. Tennessee had the run for years with Pat Summitt. It'd be cool to see Arizona win just because I think that's
one thing that's interesting about women's basketball. A men's team's coach will kind of get in a little bit of hot water for running up the score on somebody. There is no such thing in women's basketball.
No.
They'll beat somebody 103-30 and nobody will say anything about it, where a men's coach would be completely excoriated.
I wonder why that is. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder.
I would almost think it'd be the other way. I would almost think that
beat people into the ground.
There is a theory about that type of dominance is a display of toxic masculinity. I've heard this talked about a little bit. I think it's the opposite. I think if you're that good, then show it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I see no reason.
Well, and here's what I'd say too is, why would you ever want your team in competition to not be aggressive?
Not play hard?
Like why? Right. I just don't think from a coaching standpoint that's a good strategy.
Right.
I mean, even if you put in the second, or third string players, they need to go all out. And if they're better, then they're better, and you run up the score. I think you always want your team. I always want your team. And probably my favorite thing growing up in Little League, my favorite thing was the mercy rule. And I was fortunate to be on teams that put that on other teams. I never experienced it myself. But that's as a competitor, our goal was to get the mercy rule, to end this game by the third inning. Like that was,
100%.
And that's what, I think that's the mindset you want, right? You
would intentionally schedule stuff halfway through the second half of games, so we would go mercy people at halftime so we could leave. So we would intentionally do that. Like, listen, we're gonna miss whatever else. We have movie tickets, so we're gonna miss the start of the movie unless you get mercy these guys in the first half. Done. 10 goals. We're out of here.
I love it. What a strategy. You would never make it in men's college basketball. All right. Moving on. So I'm hoping that Arizona pulls it off. I think that'd be a great storyline, but we'll see what happens. So March Madness coming up this weekend.
UConn gets beat, Gino Auriemma is a piece of work.
Yeah, he is. Did you hear his interview after the Baylor game? When they said, "Are you going to look at that last call, and look back at it?" And he said, "No, I'm not going to look at that last call." He goes, "I'm not going to look at the 9 calls that they missed in the first half, where they had 11 free throw attempts and we had 2. I'm not going to look at those either. It's a call. You got to live with it." He just said that straight out. It's like, I do love that part about it where he speaks like that, because everybody's like, that call changed the game. No, there were 100 calls that changed the game. Why everybody pause? We got some new people coming in real quick.
Oh, cool, Trey.
We got the one and only Meshach Weber. And of course, Raquel Paquettes is coming in. Chris Jolly, shut your mouth. Very excited to have them join us. Meshach,
I don't even know why I hang out with you.
Thanks for hanging out in the waiting room, probably longer than you should have. I'm still learning here. I'm forgetting to look at, who's coming in. We got Raquel who's coming in now. Chris Jolly was going to say something important, but I'm glad that you're here, Meshach.
I'm done talking.
You're done?
Meshach, you letting the beard grow out a little bit there? Looks like we got a little more on the face.
I got the Moderna shot on Monday, and my sleep has been crazy screwed up since. I've been I had a headache, so it's just a cytokine spike that's just messing with my circadian rhythm, and so I just don't have time to shave right now. I'm just trying to get as much work done while running on 3 tacos short of a taco plate.
How's glad you made it. You just used 2 words I don't even know what they mean, but I'm glad you're here. Thanks for sharing. Robert, what did you say?
I said, how's the third arm growing in? Is that extra hand helping as you're
my quetzal is coming in really well, You remember that for anybody? Schwarzenegger movie?
I'm sorry, no.
I mean, we saw my quetzals earlier.
The quetzal. Remember the little guy that came out of the guy's chest?
We did see his quetzals earlier. That's embarrassing to say. Raquel, how are you? Let's clean up the show a little bit. How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm doing great.
You indirectly insulted Aaron by saying that, Trey, by the way.
Oh.
No, Aaron's not insulted by that.
Why do we got to clean it up? Because Raquel's here.
No, because Erin's a part of the guys club. I mean, she'll say that. Come on.
Now you're
look what's behind her.
Raquel.
She has jerseys hanging from the wall.
Oh,
I think we're good here.
Justification.
Aaron, I actually got to meet Aaron last week. We met up and went for a hike. I got to take her through the woods. It was great.
Did you wear masks? Did you comply?
We were outside.
But you have to have masks. You won't 6 feet. You're killing people, Raquel.
You know, I keep my space.
Do what you can. Do what you can. Well, glad you guys made it.
Is that nobody?
Now, I think Chris Jolly.
Outside. Sorry, go ahead.
Now, I think Chris Jolly was going to say something important. What was that, Chris?
I forgot.
Yes.
We were talking about Gino and his response to critics and the reporters.
Running up the score.
Oh yeah, no, I like coaches like Gino. I like when coaches are like, you know, they're just keeping it real. Like I like they're so over the PC aspect of college sports and everything else. I love it when they go off in their tangents like that. Just like Mike Gundy is my favorite clip of all time. Like I'm a man. I love it when they bring it on
I'm a
TV.
man.
Stand up for your players. Stand up for, you know, like the reality of how things are, you know? And it's just like one call should never define a game. Let's be honest. One call should not.
Well, let's say it does. Okay, cool. And this is exactly what Gino said. Is LeBron James giving back the trophy because somebody made a bad call in Game 7? No. Not a chance.
Definitely not. Do you guys remember back in the day, John Calipari, when he was with UMass, and then Cheney from Temple, when they
almost got a throwdown.
Went to blows in the press conference afterwards. Oh, that was again. That's another YouTube clip we should look up. Somebody should look that up and put it on the notes because that was classic. Again. Classic. It was so good. All right, so we're gonna transition.
Hold on. Go ahead. I love
hold on. Go ahead.
Sports because like don't get me wrong. I love how like you know, a lot of these guys are cool with each other. But I loved when those guys would actually fight and actually like their competitive drive was so high. They would get in each other's faces.
NBA in the 80s.
Exactly. They would get in their faces. I don't know if you would call it a fight sometimes. Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson.
Well, you got the hold me back crowd.
I know.
Just displaying it. And then you got the meta world pieces of the world that are going in, throwing blows, even to the fans.
The crowd.
Like totally different.
I love the pitchers who'd go high and inside too. They throw that chin music in there because a batter took too long to set himself in the box. I love that stuff. But no, they
can we agree that the best baseball fight is Nolan Ryan? Can we agree that one?
Absolutely.
Charge the mound and get a face full of fists.
Ventura. Was it Ventura?
Ventura, yeah.
I loved it. Where he's like top of the head, undercut. Like that was such a classic move.
You charge the mound against a 45-year-old guy thinking you're gonna take him, and he just took you to town.
You can tell that dude lives on a ranch and is still doing steer wrestling. Like that's what he does on the side, right? I mean, you could just tell that. So
that's why I love hockey so much. Hockey's the only sport that they actually encourage fighting. They have guys on their roster who are there solely
just their bruisers.
That's all they're there for. Go take out their star. And it's just like I love that part of it. And they it's part of the sport. So like nobody tries to break it up. They let dudes knock each other the fuck out, and that's the way it should be.
Best part of a hockey game, this is what I love, is when they literally drop the puck and everybody just moves out of the way and the goalies come in and start fighting, like when the game starts. That's my favorite. I love that. Like that's how you start a hockey game. You start the puck and then everybody just says, okay, we know these guys are fighting. Let's just get it out of the way. I love that. That's so classic. You don't see it much, but you know, it happens from time to time. Aaron, you know what I'm talking about. You're up there in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm talking about. That happens in hockey games. All right.
Sidney Crosby sucks.
No, he doesn't.
Dude, in Pittsburgh, it happens in the grocery store.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, we got a chat. Raquel, what'd you want to say?
Raquel, she's got to take off.
I'm sorry, guys. It's busy. I gotta go.
Come on,
get that.
We'll dirty the show back up.
Make sure you check out LinkedIn. I'm gonna share my interview for my book. It's gonna be out today.
Awesome.
Send that out for you.
Please do.
Hey,
if when you have the link, share with me, and I'll put it on the notes for the show. So it'll be great.
Perfect. We'll do. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay. Well, now we can dirty things back up a little bit. Okay. All right. So we're going to transition just for a moment. So I got a new segment. I talked about this at the beginning with some of the guys who are on here. We have a new segment this week called Things I Learned. And I want everybody to know why we're doing this. I have a 13-year-old in my house now who knows everything. I'm very thankful that I have her with me now. And she's able to teach me a lot of things that I don't know. So very excited today. So here's what I learned this week. And then you guys can share that. Did you know that middle school boys will play video games record the video game, talk over the video game, post it on YouTube. And this is how my daughter is hanging out with the boy she likes.
Twitch.
She just watches his YouTube video game recording.
There's my son.
Anyone else?
Hey,
what's up?
Hey.
How are you?
I
I can't hear. But anyways.
That's it. Speaking of middle school boys.
Speaking of middle school boys who play video games, that's him.
Yes.
I play video games.
There you go.
I'm playing one right now.
Yes. Are you recording it and posting it on YouTube? Is this a thing or is this just like a one-off?
No,
I have no idea.
Twitch and YouTube
That's a
are
thing.
huge right now. So people are getting really popular off this stuff.
Yeah.
Monetize that.
I would know. I am a little teenage boy.
This is why you're here.
Emphasis
I'm
on
learning
monetize
from
it.
you. This is great. This is fabulous. So the question is, can the old guys do this? Can we go outside and do yard work? You know, videotape it, talk over while we're doing it, and put it on YouTube.
Oh, I'll put that on the OnlyFans for sure.
Yeah, you should.
A lot of people post a lot of different things like video games, art. It's usually mainly video games because people very much enjoy that, whether it's like trolling people, which is just messing with people, or it's like
I know what trolling is. Okay, I'm not that stupid. All right. Okay, I know what trolling is.
No,
All right,
I'm
keep
just-
going.
Huge.
wrong.
Esports is becoming bigger than sports, quote unquote.
And
Esports.
no, like
that
they're like popular games right now are like Apex Legends, Fortnite, Roblox, that kind of stuff. A lot of people like to watch that, especially like a lot of things from say Roblox is targeted at younger audiences, say like little kids like 4, 5, basically toddlers to preteens like my age. And then stuff like Apex Legends, Fortnite, PUBG, all that stuff is targeted more towards kids like my age to sometimes adults. So
Don't
Okay, I didn't
ever
recognize
sell
half the
out.
words you
I
just
have
said.
a lot of
But
knowledge
Let
of
me
this
ask you a
stuff. I
question.
watch
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh,
YouTube.
he traced that question.
With that being said, don't sell out.
Okay,
because
so-
somebody might offer you a little bit of extra money right now. Monetize it yourself and capitalize on it. You're way too smart to
Yeah,
have
no,
that not work in
I'm
your favor.
I'm big brain.
Nice hoodie, little Mr.
Chris is giving business strategy. I love it.
Business strategy, smart.
I love it. I love it.
Stop.
All right. So
There it is.
There's the
You
bane.
use a lot of words in there that I don't recognize half those words in there. But here's what I got to ask: is this a strategy also to find a spouse someday? That's
a Nolan
my question because
That's a Nolan.
yeah,
Wait, what?
like, are you gonna employ this strategy of recording yourself playing video games to hopefully find your future spouse? Is this a real strategy?
Oh, a lot of people who get famous off like YouTube and stuff do have like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a significant other. So I'm assuming, yeah, it's a good option because you're popular. So of course people are gonna be like,
So Chris, there's two strategies here. There's the monetization strategy, and then there's the popularity to find a spouse someday strategy, or whatever your goals are in life. So
and increasingly, if you're talking about cisgender relationships, increasingly a lot of young girls are really into these games just as much, if not more.
Well, I'm figuring that out actually in my own house. So this is I have to agree with you. This is true. So that's what I learned this week. Excited for future segments
their
of.
nails and watch somebody play video games.
That's what's happening.
Not if they love
That
the
is
video
what's
game,
happening.
because then they're getting to see this person do something that they're like, wow, that's really cool what you're doing. You figured out this thing that I haven't figured out yet. You're just so fast.
Well, my daughter doesn't
so
even play
competitive.
video games. It's the boy. It's the boy. It's not the video games.
I
It's
watched
the
my
boy.
son play video games and I want to fall asleep. So I don't get it.
I'm not a gamer myself. I can't play
And
him.
he's
I don't even
killing
want to watch him.
people
I'm
on
with you,
there.
but yeah, pretty wild stuff. So anyways, that's the first installment of things I learned this week. We'll see what I learn this next week with my daughter. Looking forward to sharing that with
I
everybody.
can't wait for
We're
you
going to transition.
be educated by a teenager. I'm excited for it.
Re-educated. This is new education, my friend. There's no re-education about it. This is all net new. All net new. All right. So we're going to transition to something a little more focused on the transportation topic. We're seeing a lot of things come out right now with infrastructure bills and, Congress and the government trying to do a few things. We've got summer approaching. We've got a lot of things going on. So I want to talk to you a little bit about transportation costs in general. We're going to go ahead and launch the poll. And while we do that, we're going to listen to, I think we're going to listen to a little Eminem here if we can. Oh, doggone it. I did it again. Let's, oops, I did it again. Oh, no, you guys have it. Okay. Oh, you guys got it. So is it coming your way? Please tell me it's coming your way. Yeah?
Yeah, we got it.
Yep.
No? Anybody? All right.
Yeah, we got it.
My music's not working here. What's going on today? We'll try
Bush
it again.
League.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to start singing. It's totally amateur hour. That's what we got here.
Telling you.
Amateur hour. No doubt. There we go.
That's all right, 'cause I like the way it hurts.
Oh, Justin knows this too. Justin knows
Just gonna
everything.
stand there and
So impressive.
There we go.
That's all right.
I wonder if there's a delay on the YouTube. There's a delay to me with Justin, but we'll see how it sounds.
Love the way you lie.
Tell you what it really is. I can only tell you what it feels like. And right now it's a still night in my windpipe. I can't breathe, but I still fight.
Eminem, I can't believe that guy hasn't been canceled. Have you heard his songs from the early 2000s?
Oh, they tried.
They did try.
Yeah, Gen A or Gen Z did try to cancel him. Everybody's like, Eminem, you can't.
Yeah. Nice try.
Trey tried to cancel
Nice.
me too, so I feel his pain.
Are you gonna drop 40 bars on Trey now?
I might have to.
A little diss track for me? A little diss tape?
Oh, we could have rap battles in the streets.
That would be fun. I can't rap though. I can't.
New
rap.
segment on Word on the Street, rap battles, and we'll just have it like a wheel spinner to see who has to go, and then we'll just see what happens.
Oh,
I can't wait to see Meshach go against Greg. That's what I'm looking forward to. Meshach versus Greg on a rap battle. Let's do it.
I want
do
me
it.
and Greg. Me and Greg.
I can't.
Bane and Greg going after it. I want a piece of Justin. I think I could take Justin down.
That was quick. That was almost like as fast as Michael Vincent saying he wanted to punch me. Remember that, Trey? When he was like, "I'd take Chris Jolly. That'd be easy money."
He's like, "I'll take Chris Jolly."
Yeah.
Oh no!
I do remember that.
I need context on this. Give me context on this.
Yeah, I forget what happened.
Oh
but
yeah.
Michael Vince or like
No, the question was who would you want in the ring? It was one of those stupid questions on What the Truck, and they asked one of their panelists, and then Michael Vincent goes, "I know who I would do," and he goes, "I'd want to be in there with Chris Jolly. That's easy money."
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it was
whoa.
quick. He didn't even think. Yeah, it was quick.
He had that teed up like
Easy money.
Oh,
Totally easy money.
there, huh?
So
So
speaking of which,
the question was, if
Freight
you were in
Waves,
the ring, who would you want to
F3.
fight?
I think that's what it was.
Who do you want to be in the cage with? I think it was. Who do you want to be like in the cage? I think we're talking like MMA.
Ain't nobody
Who do you
picking
wanna be in
me.
the cage with.
Yeah.
Nobody picked Bane that day. I will say that.
Nobody
Nobody
ever
picked you
picked
that
me.
day.
Oh, is that a
Speaking
compliment or
of speaking of
is it
Freight
an
Waves,
Yep.
Is that a compliment or is it an insult? Is it a compliment because you like?
no, I think it was kind of an insult.
It was an insult.
Wow, that's
It was totally an insult. That one was.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Trey,
I could just sense Speaking of Freight Waves, we got the F3 coming up, which is gaining some traction here. Like the registrations are improving. I'm hoping for a live stage for the Play It Forward band. That's what I'm hoping for. So two things I want out of F3. Craig Fuller, if you're listening, this is what I want. We need a concert band. We need a concert. We need a stage for the Play It Forward band. And we're going to rock a show, like literally like a 10-song show. That's what we're shooting for. And then I also need Chris Jolly on the main stage.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Those are the
There
two
we go.
things. That's what we need. We need Chris Jolly on the main stage, and we need to Play It Forward band concert, like legitimate 8 to 10 song concert. Let's go. I'm ready. We'll create some originals. I'm working on the F3 theme song right now. Come on, let's go. Let's do this. In my spare time, by the way.
Are you
My
gonna do
spare
this in
time.
a parking lot somewhere?
Well, we better do it. Yeah, I mean, there should be a stage, and absolutely, if there's going to be 12,000 people, we may have to do it in a stadium. Meshach, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, where this thing is going, but they're shooting for 12,000. So, and I want to be on that stage playing with the band.
Who's going to move all the freight?
wanna be a part of
You know what? If I was a freight broker and hearing all this, I'd be like, I'm fucking staying in the office that day. There's going to be tons of rejections. I'm going to make that money those 3 days.
It's like
I'll
a
catch the
3-day
replay.
week. Yeah. So that's kind of how that's going to roll. So anyways, all right. Okay. So that's good talk. Let's go ahead and shut down the poll and talk a little bit about what's happening with transportation costs. Some of them consumer and some of them more commercial in nature. So first question, what is the price of gasoline in your neck of the woods? I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed that it's been on the rise.
Yeah. 80
And so
cents.
of course with you, Chris, it's going to be lower. So one of you said between 251 and 275. Nobody's below 250 a gallon anywhere on this call. 2 of you are 276 to 3, and 3 of you are already over $3 a gallon. What's pushing the price of gasoline, and do you think it's going to come back down? What do you guys think?
I don't know, but the other day, my mom and I went an hour west, and say the game was at 4:00 to watch my son play. It was 264. When we were coming back at like 6:30, it was already 270, 280, like within 2 hours. So
same station, same gas station?
Yes, 2 different ones.
Wow, they both just jumped right up. Well, I know that OPEC has a huge part in that, but I really am not completely educated on that, in terms of how those prices change like that, how they change so much. But I have a feeling it has to do with the production of oil and the demand. And I think that, how much of this do you think is impacted by, when Biden first got in office in January, one of the very first things he did was he shut down the pipeline. Did that have an impact? Did that not have an impact? Does anybody have any insight into this? Mishak, I think you probably do. What do you got?
What I've read is it's the 1-2 punch of Texas, having their deep freeze and kind of disrupting some of the processing, and then the Suez Canal delay because there's so much fuel, there's so much crude that goes through that, and it's going to be months before it actually gets fully, because it's going to be rippling out for, I guess, months. They're saying the delays from that. That's what I read.
So Arizona's gas prices literally raised 60 cents in the first 3 weeks of the Biden administration. 60 cents. And that was all.
And that was well before Suez.
Yeah. And I don't know, but it's all that was campaigned about. So anybody who was paying attention to anything out there, they talked about how gas prices, they talked about how taxes are going to get raised. They talked about all this stuff.
Yeah.
So they're just doing what they campaigned on. So
they're pricing all the green stuff, basically all the green, and then also the big push for electric. So there'll be less demand.
Well, but that wouldn't affect us for a while, I would imagine. Yeah. That's going to be, that should be in the future. But it is interesting because I remember when Obama was in office, I'll give Obama credit. Sometimes he said things that were completely honest and probably what other politicians wouldn't say. But I remember him saying that we necessarily need to raise prices to wean people off of oil. He was clear about that. So give him credit for being honest about that. But I do think that's part of the playbook is they try to wean people off of that. What's interesting is that, it's the government pushing that weaning and not the market itself, and now you have, like Mishak, like you talked about, you do have GM who committed to, I think by 2035 being all electrical. That's going to be interesting because there's so much infrastructure that needs to be put in place. Is somebody going to want to buy an electric truck? I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I mean, will we even be buying cars at that point, or will everybody be doing rideshare and not owning vehicles anymore? I don't know. Who knows what 12 years, 13, 14 years from now looks like. But it is interesting how this is all kind of playing together. But to Chris's point, it happened really quickly right after, the new administration took over. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Question 2, how much will the Suez Canal blockage have an impact on? I love the fact that we were able to create a website to tell the status of a ship that is stuck in a canal within just days, had that. Did anybody, by the way, watch the interview with Dooner where he talked to NASA, who was able to see the ship blockage? Who's made a mistake big enough that you can see it from space? That was Dooner's line. I thought that was really clever. But how much will it impact truckload rates? So most of you say it's going to increase 5% or more. Two of you said 5 to 10%. One says more than 10%. Oh, and then 3 of you say no change. So tell me why you don't think that's going to have any change on truckload rates.
I think that from the no change aspect of it, mine is we didn't know where the end destination was because the Suez Canal leads into Europe. So if all of that freight is destined for Europe, we don't know if that's going to affect the U.S. domestic market at all. So I think without knowing that, it's going to be, it might be 60 days before they even know if that freight was destined for the U.S. With the entire, all the backups that were out there and the ships that were rerouted to go down below Africa and come back up. So I think it's too early to tell on that. I mean, if it was all destined for Europe, it's not going to have any effect on us at all.
Yeah. I heard that, a lot of Asian product that comes to the States, to the East Coast of the States actually does go through the Suez Canal.
Okay.
So obviously you have going to the West Coast to LA, but if you have something made in India or in China or Singapore that goes to the East Coast, it goes through the Suez Canal. Is that correct, Mishak?
Yeah, because it saved less time than going over the Pacific and around.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I heard that as well.
underneath Africa.
Yeah, around the Horn.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Around the Horn takes 2 weeks, and then the Suez Canal is a lot better than the Panama Canal, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
The distance.
What I think it's going to have a bigger impact, not so much truckload rates. I think it's going to have a bigger impact on retail prices, because we're going to have shortages of stuff that's not going to show up. Parts are not going to be here for manufacturing companies. Straight to consumer products are not going to be here. We're probably going to end up with shortages, which are going to raise consumer prices more than we probably are going to see the effect on truckload prices, because that's being impacted by other things, in the market right now, not so much a shortage. But that's what I think is going to happen. And you're probably right, Chris. It's too early to probably tell what those impacts are going to be, but they are going to be felt.
But you also have very smart business people that know that everybody in the world knows that there was a blockage there. So whether or not we're affected, we can bump prices a few cents and just say, oh man, we've had some supply issues because of Suez. We can bump prices up 8%, and
that's already happened.
Nobody's going to say anything. So
yeah.
Grades go
That's a
up
good point.
School and Suez, no problem.
No.
Never
Never waste a
never waste a crisis.
Never waste
a crisis. There you go. That's what they say.
Never
Okay,
let a
question
crisis
3.
go to waste.
This is a personal question. Do you guys consider gas prices when planning summer trips? That used to be a thing back in the day where I think they'd say increase gas prices, people aren't going to travel as much. Is that a case now? Do you guys do that? Do you think about that? Do you think the general population is going to think about that?
I don't look at prices at all.
Yeah.
You just go fill up?
Yeah. I had to think about how much gas was for that first question.
You haven't been paying any attention. I like it. It's interesting. When we did our RV trip last year, we started in Missouri and we went to the West Coast. We went through Iowa, went through South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, and got to Washington. And we saw the gas prices just increase the whole way along. And so to fill up the RV in Oregon, for example, or Northern California, was like $160 or something, $180. It was crazy. To fill it up in Missouri, it was like, at that time, it was like, I think 90, $85 or $90. So we saw that impact in hundreds of dollars as we went along the path. And we'll probably see it this year because we're going to the East Coast. So we'll see that. But I don't think that consumers think about that with travel anymore. I think we're in a place now where a lot of those types of price points, for the most part, people don't really think about that anymore. It's more just, that's what it is, and it's not that big a deal. And it's funny because my mom is a penny pincher. She would say, oh, it's 10 cents more over here. And I'm like, how many gallons are you getting? She's like 10. I'm like, so you're going to drive over there to save $1. That's what you're doing?
Spend $1 to go over there and then save $1 on it.
That was the mindset, was I get 10 cents a gallon better over there, right? It's 2 miles away. Like, well, but you're saving $1, $2 if you have a 20-gallon tank, like, I don't think people think about that as much. Although the price is, like you said, Chris, 60 cents, that's where it starts to, you feel that a little bit more. So
that's why I got a
Question
diesel.
4. Yeah, go ahead.
Good gas
That's
mileage.
it, really? Interesting. Question 4, will the increased cost of goods impact your spending for the rest of 2021? 5, you say no, you'll buy the same. You got those stimmy checks coming, people, and one of you say not sure, and nobody says they're going to buy less. I think we have really become so much of a consumer economy and a credit economy that I don't think people think about budgets nearly as much as maybe they did 40, 50 years ago. I remember my dad taking a scratch pad and writing out his budget every month and knowing where every penny went and balancing his checkbook. Who balances their checkbook every month in this group? Who does that?
I don't balance it, but I have a budget.
My husband.
Yeah, like I have a budget.
Yeah, well, okay. Right. But you're probably not going back and like my dad would balance the checkbook to make sure that every check was correct and that it was deposited. And, it was
online
a
banking
very
does that for me.
strenuous process that he would go through. I don't see that happening nearly as much.
I could not tell you the last time I actually wrote a check.
No, neither could I.
Yeah.
We write checks
Last
all
question.
the time.
Really?
Shut up! Please, shut up! Sorry.
Yes, we have reached the breaking point.
Aaron snapped. Yes.
It's Friday.
I am so glad I was here for that.
I know.
I
sat up
Street
awesome.
was worth everything for that moment.
It's
sat
0
up
o'clock
straight.
at Aaron's house. That's what I heard.
Tell your kids we said.
Oh goodness. That's right.
That was
Yeah,
my
get them
husband.
some dinner tonight.
Oh, that was your husband.
Oh, even better.
Even better.
Even better. Even better. Well, I was going to ask the last question about when do we think rates are going to peak, but I'm just going to end it on that. That was the best way to end this show today. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend. Enjoy Good Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Easter. And we'll see you guys next week on Word on the Street.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
See you guys.
Yeah.